Alright guys, quick vlog today. Hopefully the audio's good and apologies if it's messed up. It's my first time doing a vlog. Today we're going over a British Airways Concorde. This is the one located in New York City at the USS Intrepid Museum. And I just finished the tour and it is sick. In the next few screens, I'm just going to be doing a voiceover of what I saw. But from here you can see the Ogival Delta Wing. So the Ogival Delta Wing has, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, has two separate brakes. So there's number one, and then it stops right around there, and then it extends again, and then it breaks off. So it's not a true Delta Wing because it has a nice little curve right there. These are your two engines on each side, and this is what propelled it to go supersonic a little bit above Mach 2, which is around a little over 1,300 miles per hour, or like 2,100 kilometers per hour. And underneath right there, you can see the inlets. Some of them were on the bottom and some of them are on top, in order to control the airflow to allow the Mach 2 speed. And as we walk around to the rear, you can see some of these little adjusters, and those adjusters would adjust the airflow to allow the plane to reach Mach speed. I believe takeoff speed is about 250 miles per hour. And here you can see a part of the Tailless Design. So the Concorde doesn't have any elevators in the rear. So here you can see the rear of the plane, and you have the rudders, but there are no elevators in the rear. And part of that is because of the Ogival Delta Wing. It has a super aggressive takeoff, which is why it needs the ability to adjust right there. And there's the inside of the rear of the jet engine and the turbine. You can see how this one's closed on the right and the left is open. So that's how you would control the airspeed. So some of the other cool facts about this is that very similar to the SR-71, there was some leakage. And what I mean by that is that the SR-71 would leak fuel at times because the panels were fitted loose, and then also from the constant heat cycling and expansion due to friction from flying so fast. This would cause a breakdown of some of the pieces, or like blanking on the word, but the compounds used to seal the fuel tanks. But yeah, on the SR-71, they leaked fuel because the scientists and engineers realized that when they would be flying at a super high speed, there'd be a lot of friction, and then all the titanium, the alloys would expand under pressure. And then there's the front. So as I mentioned earlier, with the aggressive takeoff position, when it lands, that snoot has to actually dip down anywhere between 9 to 12 degrees in order for the pilots to properly see. But that's the outside tour, and now we'll move on to the inside.
So here we are walking into the Concorde. It's actually a pretty tight fit. I'm about 5'6", 5'7", and my head was almost hitting the top of the ceiling. But as you can see, there's two seats on each side down the center aisle. And we're walking in. And now I'm going to take a seat. The seats for all of the Concorde were always first class. And here you can see in the window the comparison. Old slides, pretty flimsy. And the windows are actually pretty small in here. You can see the size comparison with my hand. And I was told that you actually wouldn't want to touch the windows while you're flying because it get very hot. Now you can see some of the legroom. Pretty comfortable for first class in 1976. And then from here, you can see how much headspace you actually have and how tight it was. So again, you can see some more of that first class seating. So now we're moving on to some of the storage, still pretty small on top. You have the duct underneath to sit onto the outside seats, and then those two screens up front would show your speed and would be your source of in-flight entertainment. Now we're in the cabin. You can see a lot of old analog features from 1976. You can also see two front screens. The outside screen was for the droop snoot, for the pilots to have that good vision of the runway during approach and landing. And the inside was for protection from the heat from flying at Mach 2. And lastly, we pan over into some of the flight controls and instruments the engineer will be responsible for during the flight. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe.